Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Heat number 8 of the Fountain Pen Tournament. The pens, 3 pens, going head to head against each other. At the end, I'll hand it over to you to decide the winner. So join me now, down on a table. We'll walk through the bodies, do some size comparisons, weights and measures, a writing sample. I'll give you some of my brief thoughts, then hand over to you to vote for the winning pen. Welcome down to the table. Here we are, heat number 8. My 3 pens today. I've got a Laban 325 in Cambridge Brown. This is made in Taiwan. We've got the Visconti Homo Sapiens Dark Age. This is made in Italy. We've also got the Opus 88 Koloro in blue and teal. This one made in Taiwan. All 3 pens, more or less oversized pens, so very large pens to look at them. They all seem to have a good girth to them. But let's start by having a walk through the bodies. In this section, not going to walk through each of them. There are individual videos on my channel looking at that. We're just going to look mainly at differences and similarities. So the first similarity, as I said, they're all fairly large looking pens. Filling mechanisms are different. The Laban, that's a cartridge converter. I've got a converter in there. The converter did come with it. The Visconti, that one's what they call a power vac, a vacuum filling system. And then the Opus 88, that's a Japanese eyedropper. I love the looks of them. We've got this nice brown with this nice little bit of a swirl here. Let's just turn this round for you. Very nice. Look at the way it catches the light. With the Visconti, I just love this dark age. You know, you've got blacks, you've got the occasional pop of white. Just very classic looking. And then here we've got the teal and blue. The blue is ebonite, the teal is resin. Material, as I said, resin and ebonite. With this, we've got the lava mixed with resin to give this beautiful finish. And then we've got here another resin type pen. Let's take the caps off. So with the Laban, half, 1, about 1.5 turns to take that cap off. That reveals this number 6 steel nib. With a Visconti, this is the hook safe mechanism, so we go 1/8 of a turn and it comes off. Just do that again so you can see. 1/8 of a turn, then it comes off. That reveals this gorgeous 18 karat gold number 6-ish size nib. Then here with the Opus 88, half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, about 3.25 turns, loads of turns there. Now I'm putting these next to each other. So on that Opus 88, we've got more of a number 5 size nib, so a smaller nib. With the Laban, just so I can show you, there's the converter that came with it. Let's take a closer look at the nibs. So with the Laban nib, it's a steel nib, same with the Opus 88. This one got a gold coloured plating. We've got a nice decorative border. Underneath the breather hole, we've got 8952. Below that, Laban, and below that, Germany. So what it's telling us is the nibs are made in Germany. I believe they're made by Yoho, not 100% certain on that. With a Visconti, as I've already said, 18 karat gold nib. Beautiful nib. It's plated, so it looks like it's silver. I personally would have liked to see the gold, but the silver does fit in with the rest of the pen. Got a nice decorative border there. We've got a little bit of a logo. At the bottom, we've got 18 karat, and below that, we've got B. This is a broad nib. And with the Opus 88, as I say, smaller nib. Again, we've got that nice decorative border. Breather hole. Below that, the word Opus 88. Below that, B for broad. This is another one I believe is made by Yoho. Let's swap on over. We'll look at some size comparisons. So here's my standard size comparisons, the Pilot Metropolitan and the Lamy Safari. When we're looking at these and comparing with today's pens, The Visconti by far the longest, just beating out the Laban 325. The Laban 325 just beating out that Opus 88 Koloro. The Safari looks about the same length as the Opus 88. The Metropolitan, again, looks very similar in terms of length to that Opus 88. Today's pens, though, if we're looking down at the sections, they've all got wider sections than we see with both of the comparison pens. In the hand, the Laban 325, very nice. The section just about right for me. It doesn't really post. You can sort of get it on the end there, but to me it feels a little bit wobbly and it makes the pen feel long. There you are, let me leave that on so you can see. And very back heavy, so I find this is best unposted. With the Visconti, knocking everything all over the place. The section, very nice. Again, my fingers similar to the Laban, just fitting really nicely there. Lengthwise, I quite like that. And it does post. Again, I think it makes it feel back heavy. I use this unposted. And then with the Opus 88, the section a little bit thinner than the other two. Lengthwise, it's not too bad. The end cap here, I've got this unscrewed. It's a Japanese eyedropper. You can't really see through the material. But there's a post going down with a plunger on the bottom. So you can actually twist it down and that will seal off the section from the body. And then untwist it, pulls that plunger up, then your ink can flow then into the section. Let's just pop the caps on. I was about to pop the caps on, then I realised I haven't shown you the Opus 88 posted. So, does it post? Yes, it does. Again, for me, feels quite back heavy, but unposted, I think that's quite nice. Let's pop the caps on. With the caps on, I'm struggling to get them all on my little stand, but the Laban 325, that's now the longest. Then we've got the Visconti, then the Homo Sapiens, the Safari, and then just teeny little bit shorter than the Safari, we've got that Pilot Metropolitan. Let's get these out of the way and fetch in the rule of measuring. Here we've got the rule of measuring, so starting with the Laban. Its length 14.8 centimetres. Unposted. Here we're looking at 13 centimetres. It's posted. I say it does post, but not very well. That's about 17.3 centimetres. The width of the body, I measured it here, so that's 1.33 centimetres. The cap, 1.57 centimetres. Then the section, it goes from 1.1 up to 1.24 centimetres. With the Visconti, knocking everything out of the way, so the length is 14.5 centimetres. This is what I was saying, just shorter than the Laban. Unposted, this comes in at 13.2 centimetres. Posted, here we're looking at 17.2 centimetres. The width of the body, so we're measuring here, that comes in at 1.43 centimetres, so that's where I was saying it's slightly wider. And then the cap, that comes in at 1.67 centimetres. The section, measured the smallest about here, so this goes from 1.13 up to 1.26. So as near as I can say, it's the same as the Laban. So finally, the Opus 88. I've closed it down, so there we've got a total length of about 14.2 centimetres. Depending how far you open this, you do add another 2 or 3 millimetres onto that. Unposted, here we're looking at about 12.5 centimetres. Then posted, about 16 centimetres. The width of the body, 1.4 centimetres. Width of the cap is 1.6 centimetres. The section, 1.01 up to 1.21. This is where I'm saying the section on this one does feel thinner. Let's get this out of the way and fetch in the scales of weighing. Here we've got the scales of weighing, starting with the Laban. So a full pen, 37 grams. Quite a nice weight that, isn't it? Remember there's ink in all these pens. 24 grams there for the pen itself, and 14 there for the body. With a Visconti, 51 grams. This is definitely a heavy feeling pen. The body, see if I can stop this from rolling, 30 grams. The cap, 22 grams. A lot of this is down to the material. Remember, this is lava. It's lava rock. It's been ground up, mixed with resin, so that's going to add weight. And then the last is the Opus 88. 25 grams there for the full pen. The full pen here weighs less than the body alone on the Visconti. Body alone, 14 grams, 11 grams there on the cap. Let's move this out of the way and fetch in the notepad of testing. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Here we've got the notepad of testing. This is paper from Endless Recorder. It's one of the old style ones, so it's 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. Let's start with the Laban. So I really do like the look of this. So we've got a Laban 325 with a broad nib. All today's pens have got broad nibs. The price for this is $216. That's Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Brandy Snap. Beautiful brown ink this. I do usually see some nice shading coming through with it. Let's do our WASD squirrel grid. So up and down. Side to side, fill in this grid really, really well. And then we do a grid and we do diagonals. Very nice, enjoyable to write with, nice smooth feeling nib. We'll do the sounds later on when we do our sentences. Just comfortable to use and a pleasure to use. Drying times, there's immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. After a minute, still smudging quite a bit, so this is a fairly wet combo. That's the Laban 325. Next up, the Visconti Homo Sapiens. As I've said, vacuum filling pen. One of the downsides with this pen, it doesn't have an ink window, so I never know how much ink is in here. It's beautiful in the hand though. So we've got a Visconti Homo Sapiens. And it's got a broad 18K nib. And that's gold. The price for this, it's not cheap. 1,318 Aussie dollars. The ink by Diamine. It's Fireside Snug. I love this combo, and until I've used up all this Fireside Snug, it's the only ink I'm going to be using in this pen. Because to me, we've got the lava, the basalt lava there, so in the pen, And then the ink, it looks to me like the molten lava that's flowing, the colours you see in that. I just think it's a really nice combo. We'll do the Westy Squirrel grid. So we go up and down. Feels a little bit like I'm painting at the amount of ink that's coming out of this. Very, very juicy combo, as you can see. Drying times, so we go immediate. That's a lot wetter than we saw with a 325. 10 seconds. 30 seconds, I'm going to go onto the line below. 1 minute. After a minute, wow, really wet still. And I've noticed this with the other inks that I've tried in here. It's a very wet writing pen. So that's the Visconti Homo Sapiens. Smooth that page slightly. Finally, we've got the Opus 88 Koloro. Very similar comment to the Visconti. This material here is very, very dark. I struggle to see the ink through it. So it's another one. I don't really have much of an idea how much ink is left. So we've got an Opus 88 Koloro with a broad nib, so it's a steel nib. Price for this, 167 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine and it's Bliss. Beautiful blue coloured ink. Again, I often see a lot of shading coming through with this. So add grid. So up and down. This is a smaller nib, and although it's labelled as a broad, it doesn't seem to fill these grids in as quickly as I was seeing with the other two pens. Drying times, so there's immediate, get a clean finger, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, that's dry. So this is the Opus 88 Koloro. Of the 3 pens today, this is the one, taking notes, this would be the one I would go for because it dries a lot faster. I'm going to just move the page, then I'm going to fetch each pen in the same order and write a sentence with them. As I write each sentence, I'm going to move the mic down to the page, so hopefully you can hear the pen writing. We start with the Laban 325. That's whisper quiet. I'm hoping you could hear that over the mic. Very smooth feeling nib, beautiful to write with. I don't know why I don't get this pen out often enough to write with. So that's the Laban 325. Next up, that Visconti Homo Sapiens. Another very smooth nib. I'm hoping you could hear it, but it's like it's singing. It's a very different noise than what we were getting with that Laban. It's like it's singing to me as I'm writing. Finally, the Opus 88 Koloro. The nib here, it sounds very similar to what I was hearing with that Laban. The nib does feel a lot softer though. There's a little bit more, I don't want to say springiness, but softness to it. Again, it's another one beautiful to write with. So what are my thoughts on these pens? The Laban 325. Nice looking pen. Nice writing pen. $216. Yeah, price wise, not too bad. It's quite easy. It's enjoyable to write with. Colour wise, there's loads of different colours. That's one of the things that I wish maybe I might look at a different colour as well. With the Homo Sapiens, it's one of my favourite pens I've got, to be honest. It's my grail pen. There are other Homo Sapiens patterns. Some of them are lava, some of them aren't. Beautiful body shape, beautiful feel in the hand, very wet writer. That may be a downside for you. I can get away with that. It's just a pleasure to use. The Opus 88, Koloro, very light feeling compared, especially when you're doing it after that Visconti. And again, it's a nice pen to write with. Section does feel a little bit on the thin side. That's the only downside with this one. And very similar to the Visconti and the Opus 88, as I've already said, hard to tell what the ink levels are. So, over to you to go ahead and vote. Head on over to my YouTube community page. There you'll find the poll for this week's selection. Make your choice. And then next Sunday on my YouTube Live, I'll announce the winning pen. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Here's the pens again. Which one do you want to win? Head on over to my YouTube community page where you can vote for the winning pen. What are your thoughts on these pens? Please drop any comments down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit that thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.